Hey, it's the Mad Queen. Welcome to the Queen's Lair, and today we are going to dive into another all about hero in the series, which is going to include Zachery, who was very recently switched from an elite hero to an epic, and that's something I really want to get into and talk about a lot. But first, if you're interested in learning more in depth about other heroes in the game, check out my All About Heroes Spotlight playlist on the main page of my YouTube channel. So, Zachery becoming an epic from an elite was supposed to be a way for the developers or the game to help out beginning players because, of course, for a long time, whenever you started the game and when you started playing, you were able to choose a free legendary hero at the beginning of the game. They went away with that. Why? I don't know. But they've tried to do some other things to basically make it so that it's not as hard to progress, I guess. Anyways, I've used him quite a bit, and I actually had him at 5 stars as an elite hero. I recently took him to level 60 so that I could test him a bit more. And guys, if you man, use him in the beginning of the game, that's fine. Don't take him past 5 stars, even as an epic hero. They did not change enough or boost him enough to actually make him any good. What they have done is taken an elite hero who is still really an elite hero, made them epic, which means it's harder to get more copies of them to ascend, and you can't get books to actually book him out either. So it's harder to get books to increase his masteries. Whereas if they would have just left him as an elite, it would have been a lot easier for people to get copies of him to ascend him and to get books to put into his masteries to make him even better. Honestly, I have no idea what he's like with masteries. I do not have any on him. I will not typically put books or masteries into heroes unless they're already somewhat good. You don't want to waste your resources on heroes that it's not worth. And for me, it's not worth it to put those into his masteries to test and see how good he is. Of course, he's going to be better because a lot of things are boosted for him, but overall, it's not worth it. So as far as his abilities, I'm going to read over those. I will recommend some gear sets for you guys, what I use, and then I will go into the rating place within the game and rate him everywhere in the game. So if you want to see that, stick around until the end. I wish that this was a little bit more exciting. I thought it was really neat to see that they changed Zach from an elite hero to an epic, but what they've in return done is made the hero even worse and made it to where it's honestly harder for beginners and new players to actually build him up and use him. I did use Zachery in the beginning of the game. My starting heroes were on my main team: Connor, Zachery, Hydricia, because that's who I picked as my free legendary, and Mary. Those were the 4 that I used in the very beginning to help me climb and progress. Zachery was okay. He wasn't great, which is why I only ever took him to 5 stars. I'm kind of at a loss for words on this one, guys. But let's go ahead and look at his abilities. Chaos Slaughter, his trait, deals 50% damage to all enemies in a bonus attack when this character or a team member defeats an enemy. This trait is actually pretty nice. This ability may only be triggered once per turn for ally kills, but any number of times for this character's kills. When it's ascended, it's going to do 80% damage instead of 50. And don't get me wrong, this trait is nice, and Honestly, probably the only really good thing about his kit. But let's keep going. Chaos Blade, his basic deals 100% damage to one enemy and gains attack up for 1 turn. Chaos Punch, his special, deals 150% damage to an enemy plus 50% bonus damage if the target has less than 50% of max health remaining. And his ultimate Chaos Burst deals 150% damage to all enemies. The fewer the enemies, the more damage this attack deals. Whenever you read his kit sounds really good. And that's because this kit together is really good. The problem is his damage output is not very good. And it's super frustrating to me that they have made him an epic hero for all of the reasons that I mentioned before. They did not boost him enough for it to, for it to even matter for them to change him. They should have just left him so that he could be more accessible and easier to upgrade for beginners, like I was saying before. As far as gear, I don't have a complete set on him right now. The reason why is because I've been trying to come up with some guides for stages 1 through 12 for beginners on some of the dungeons, and I left some boots off so that the gear would be better for where players are in the game at that point, if that makes sense. But for gear on him, you could use the Avarice set because he does deal AoE damage. You could use the Assassin set, which would help you deal more damage to the main target plus additional damage to everyone else. After you get to a certain point in the game and you get, honestly, any other heroes, you don't really need to use Zachery anymore. I hate to say that. He is going to be beneficial in the beginning. That's it. So take with that what you like. And let's go ahead and finish this off by giving him a rating everywhere in the game. And you can see here they recommend a Rage and a Warrior set. The Rage set gives increased crit rate. The Warrior set gives increased attack. And of course, that's a beginner's build for the most part. As far as arena offense, I will give you 2 stars. As far as arena defense, I'm going to just say very poor, 1 star. No Man's Land Bane Wraith. Wow, he actually does have quite a few ratings. But I guarantee that all of these ratings that are here now are from when he was an elite hero, not an epic. So that should have been something that was reset when they changed him, but they didn't, because look at all of these ratings. There are not very many heroes in the game that have this many ratings, unless they are an elite hero. But as far as No Man's Land Bane Wraith, I'll give him 3 stars, which I feel is generous. And that's more so for a beginner. Honestly, I probably should have given him 2 stars. You're not going to see anybody in the later stages of the game using him, really. The Flame Lizard, man, I feel like I'm really being lenient here. No Man's Land, I'm going to give him 1 star here. Holy Light Lord, I'm going to give him 2 stars. Shadow Captive, 2 stars. The Roaring Tulpa, I feel very confident about giving him 3 stars. Very confident. Ash, I will give him 2 stars. Queen of Tides, I'm going to give him 1 star. Witch of the Wind, 2 stars. Gemini, 1 star. And the Armored Incursion, 1 star. So if you are a beginner, it's okay to build him out. You're most likely going to need him to progress until you get to the point where you can get better heroes. If you're not a beginner, I would not invest in him, unfortunately. I hate saying that, but Zachery is He was very average as an elite hero, and now as an epic hero, he's terrible. So they made him an average hero, took him from an average hero and made him very bad, or very poor as they would rate it in here. Let me know in the comments how you guys like to use him. If you are using him in the later stages of the game, I'm curious how you're using him, where you're using him, the build you have on him. Let me know your thoughts about them changing him from an elite to an epic hero. I would love to continue this conversation in the comments section. Also, if you're a new player or an experienced player, join my growing Discord community. It's a great place for beginners to ask for advice and experienced players to give advice. The link will be in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.